Let's get the details from Lachlan Hughes from Swell Asset Management. Fair call, right? I feel like we all advertise for Apple constantly, but as an investor, were you impressed with this product launch?
Look, yes, now it's been an early startup here, but in terms of the product launch, these tend to be more evolutionary than revolutionary, and that was again what we saw last night from Apple. But I guess the three takeaways for me were: if you look at the Apple's investments in their own silicone, which drove, I guess, additional performance, but also extended battery life for their products. And secondly, you're really now seeing the huge investment that Apple's making in research and development. They spend nearly $20 billion a year, and you're seeing the benefit of that in each of the products they're releasing, and also the integration, how those fit together. And I think lastly, and something Tim Cook's called out for a while now, is he believes Apple's contribution to health is going to be significant. And we're starting to see that weaved into the latest version of the Apple Watch, the Series 7.
So health being our ability to track our own health outcomes while wearing Apple devices. Where else could that be taken by Apple?
Well, I think it's going to be personalized health. So I think you're going to see it most acutely in the Apple Watch. And we've seen already with obviously adding the heart rate monitor, then later adding ECG functionality and also blood oxygen levels. So I think there's plenty of capacity for Apple to keep making, I guess, additional improvements to the Apple Watch. But you'll see it also in things like their investments in health and fitness. And that was sort of a key feature of the result last night.
All right. Is there, as an investor, a time that you think we could hit peak Apple product launches? As in, I just got a new phone last year. I don't feel the need to upgrade mine for quite some time. I don't need a new camera. Everything's working just fine.
That's right. And there's about 1 billion installed phones globally. So they're expecting, or FactSet expects, the number of iPhones sold this year to be around 240 million. So about a quarter of the installed base to upgraded in the last 12 months. And I think the 5G cycle, which started with the iPhone 12, will push into now the iPhone 13. But you're right, Nadine. I mean, I bought my iPad mini only 4 or 5 months ago, and there's a new one out today. And the functionality, it's definitely improved, but these aren't game changers anymore. They're rather like subtle evolutionary improvements. And I think you'll see that across the product range going forward. But yeah, look, I think with the number of installed phones out there at the moment, the next few years looks very promising for Apple.
Now, in terms of that R&D, which you said is a major takeaway for investors, we have heard Apple's name associated with electric vehicles, et cetera. So what's the real blue sky? I mean, what would you as an investor be very comfortable and, in fact, what would be desirable for Apple to move into that jumps them past watches, iPads, and phones?
Yes, I think that the big one obviously is an Apple car, and it's been talked about for some time, and we really have no clarity on what that's going to look like. But if you see what Tesla's done with their cars, integrating the hardware and the software together, it's very easy to see that Apple could make a significant inroads into this sector, which is huge. It's $1 trillion industry. So I think to be I guess the blue sky for Apple today would be thinking about where they could get to in the future with their car investments. So that's one thing. The second is probably augmented reality glasses, which Facebook brought out a set of smart glasses earlier in the week. And I think you'll see over time Apple start to make further investments in augmented reality.
Now, is now the time, though, still? I know I've asked you this before, but would you be buying into Apple now?
We have owned Apple in the past. We don't own it anymore. We think it's a wonderful company. It's got a very strong moat. It's an entrenched product. People love it. Very high net promoter scores. And we think that the outlook for Apple is very positive. But I do think where it's currently traded, and with that risk of, I guess, increased regulatory scrutiny, it doesn't look like one where we would like to own at the moment. But hey, look, if it comes back 20 or 30%, we would definitely be a buyer of Apple again.
Got it. Lachlan Hughes, Swell Asset Management, thank you so much for taking us through that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Nadine. See you later.
See you.